Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be doing the iTeachToo teacher tag that Megan from Too Cool for Middle School started in July of 2017. This tag was also inspired by Apples and Tiaras and Jennuine Teaching, who also created the teacher tag back in December 2016. So without further ado, let's get to the questions. And if I'm looking down, I am using my iPad to look at the questions. So here we go. Question 1 asks, what do you teach and where? I teach 4th grade students in South Florida. How long have you been teaching? I am currently in my 17th year of teaching. I started teaching back in 2001, which I actually sort of count 2000 because that's the year that I started my student teaching. And my student teaching actually lasted for a whole school year. So I kind of count that as part of my teaching experience, but my first actual job wasn't until the spring of 2001. So I am currently in my 17th year of teaching. Did you always know that you wanted to be a teacher? Actually, I didn't. When I was growing up, I do remember playing with my toys, like if I was the teacher. I used to remember also doing it with my brothers, although I know they were not too thrilled by it. And when I started thinking about what I wanted to be as far as careers, that was sometime in high school, and I kind of went back and forth. I knew that I wanted to do something with children initially, so I was thinking of being a pediatrician, and then I went into the Future Business Leaders of America because I took a typing class and I went to different competitions and I really loved that. So I decided that I wanted to go into business. And that's actually what my major was when I graduated high school and went into my freshman year at University of Miami. I went in as an accounting major. When I told my dad I was interested in going into business, he said, well, you should definitely do accounting. That's where the money is. That's where it is. So I decided, okay, let's go ahead and do accounting. Now, I did not start doing my actual heavy-duty accounting classes until probably the 3rd year of college. My freshman year, again, was at University of Miami, and I was in the School of Business. And then my 2nd year, as a sophomore, I transferred to Florida International University as a business major. So I continued doing my classes, and the first 2 years of college, you're just doing some core classes. You're not doing your actual classes towards your degree until probably the 3rd year. So in the 3rd year, that's when I started taking some statistics classes and some accounting classes, and they were hard. And I'm really good with math, and I really loved all that, but I just could not understand statistics, and it was really difficult for me. And then in my accounting class, after studying so hard, I didn't do so well in my midterm exam. So that kind of depressed me, and that put me in kind of like a downslide where I just wasn't sure what I was going to be. And as I sat there in that accounting class looking at my grade for that exam that I did not do so well in, I started thinking, maybe business is not for me, but what will I do instead? And it's like a voice came in through my mind, call it divine intervention. I don't know what it was, but it just said, teach. And I was like, teach? I'm like, yeah, teach. And that's when I started to remember all the different things that I used to do when I was younger, how I used to play teacher, how when I was 14, 15 years old in my church, I started a curriculum for children's church. And I actually had a binder with lesson plans that I would create. And I would do research on what activities and how I would teach the lessons to the students. I really loved that. And I completely had forgotten about my passion for that. So I immediately switched majors. And it was just what I was called to do. Because once I switched majors, all my classes, I was acing all my classes. I was put in the dean's list. I just found what I was meant to do. And ever since, I haven't looked back, and I am so happy that I chose to be a teacher. I'm very proud to be a teacher and do the job that I do and impact the students that come into my classroom year after year. So yeah, I initially didn't think I was a teacher, but it was what I was meant to be all along. And I'm so glad that I was able to go through with it. What is your typical hashtag teacher OOTD, teacher outfit of the day? So I'm actually wearing my typical teacher outfit of the day, and I'm actually wearing jeans with a graphic tee or a teacher related shirt. I also have some uniform shirts that are generic, so they have like a little embroidery picture that is like an owl holding a pencil or an apple, and it has my name. So sometimes I wear those, or I'll wear a nice top with some jeans. In my school, they're not very strict about jeans as long as we still look professional. So yeah, that's my typical outfit of the day, is just, you know, jeans, a nice top, and some flat shoes. Or sneakers if it's a graphic tee day, like my funky t-shirt Fridays, because every Friday I wear a graphic tee. Other than these I can wear anytime because these are teacher shirts, but on Fridays is my funky t-shirt Fridays, which is basically a day that I get to wear my graphic tee, whatever it is. What do you usually bring for lunch? So what I usually bring for lunch, I've actually included it in some of the previous vlogs that I posted for Vlogmas and for other posts before that. What I usually like to bring for lunch is either a lean meat like baked chicken or grilled chicken or ground turkey breast with a salad or vegetable. And for snack, I usually pack a fruit such as strawberries, tangerines, and maybe some cashews, or hummus with cucumbers. So that's usually what I pack on a daily basis for lunch. I kind of vary it from time to time because I do get bored of eating the same thing. So sometimes I might have some zucchini noodles with ground turkey breast meat sauce and things like that. And again, I'm a Weight Watcher, so I try to make it really clean and healthy for me because I'm trying to get back into better health. For me, I'm not losing weight because I need to look better. I know that I'm already beautiful in my own way, but I'm trying to lose weight for health reasons. So yeah, I usually pack a nice healthy lunch. What is one of your favorite books about teaching? Okay, so I have a couple. I think I have two that come to mind. One is The Essential 55 by Ron Clark, which is a book that I actually got autographed by him long time ago, before he even started the Ron Clark Academy, before a movie was made about his life. I met him in person. He came to my district for a teacher development that we were doing, and he was there standing on top of tables, and I got an opportunity to buy his book, and he actually autographed it. Maybe in a future vlog I'll show you my autographed book, but it was such a great experience to meet him in person, hear him speak, and also be able to read The Essential 55 that he taught his students his first year teaching. Another great teaching book that I love and I go back to year after year is The Book Whisperer by Donalyn Miller. And that book has inspired me to really get my students reading and have them love books. And if you saw one of my Vlogmas where the students were exchanging books, you saw how excited they were about receiving those books. So reading is a very important thing that I like to instill in my students so that they discover that there are worlds of unimaginable places that you can go once you open the pages of books. So those are two that come to mind. And I am currently starting to read Teach Like Finland, which was recommended from Teach Like a Girl. Thank you for the recommendation, Christina. And starting to read that book. I started reading it yesterday, but I'm going to continue reading it during my break. And yeah, I can't wait to read. And I also have another one. So I have a couple of other books about teaching that are in my queue to kind of read, but those are the ones that come to mind right now. And if you're a teacher and you have read a really good book, make sure you leave a comment down below. What is one of your favorite teacher movies? Okay, so, or movies about teaching. So this is really neat. One of my favorite movies about teaching is Freedom Writers. And if you've been following my vlogs, you know that I was able to meet in person the teacher who that movie was inspired by, which is Erin Gruwell. I met her in person on December 2nd. So if you go back to my vlogs on Vlogmas, I think it was December 2nd, yeah, day 2 of Vlogmas, I share a clip of not only her doing the keynote speech, but also of her and I speaking, and she actually spoke into my vlog. So that was a really amazing experience. So definitely Freedom Writers. I love writing, and I love all the possibilities that you can bring to students by just exposing them to the written word and showing them that their stories need to be written. They have something to say and people will listen to them. So that was a most inspiring movie. And of course, a close second is the Ron Clark story, which is again about Ron Clark. And I love the RCA, which is the Ron Clark Academy, and everything they stand for. I do follow elementary shenanigans, and it's because of the Ron Clark Academy that I started the house sorting this year in my classroom, and I created a house sorting guide with my own take on it that is also available in my Teachers Pay Teacher store. Who was your favorite teacher? So who was my favorite teacher? There's a couple of teachers that come to mind, all the way ranging from kindergarten all the way to my senior year in high school. But the one teacher that stands out the most is one of my middle school teachers, and I had her for a couple of years in middle school as a homeroom teacher and another year for another subject. But Miss Linda Woodruff, she was so inspiring, and I'm going to tell you a little story. So it's a little bit of a mini story time. So during Christmas one year, I don't remember exactly the year it was, but around Christmas time, my father got laid off from his work, and he had to sit us down and let us know that probably we wouldn't have a Christmas that year as far as gifts went, which kind of, as a young kid, you kind of got a little sad because even though Christmas is not about the gifts, when you're young, you kind of, if you're already expecting gifts, you kind of want gifts, even though that's not the real purpose of Christmas. And that's something that I've really instilled in my son, and he's pretty good about that. Even this year, when I asked him what he wanted for Christmas, he had a hard time thinking what he wanted because he said to me that he was pretty happy with what he already had. And he already knows that giving presents is not the true meaning of Christmas. But sorry, I go off on a tangent. That's just part of me. Going back to the story. But in that time, when I was younger, that kind of like put me a little sad. And my teacher noticed when I was in school that I was sad. And plus, I was sad because my dad had just gotten laid off, and there was, some questions about what they were going to do for money as far as the rent and paying the bills. So she pulled me off to the side because she noticed that I was sad, and I kind of opened up to her and I told her what was happening. Now I have to tell you that this is a teacher that she would have us write down on an index card our name, our birthday, and our favorite candy bar. And she had a collection of all of our index cards with our names, our birthdays, and our candy bar. And once in a while, she will surprise the class by bringing us our favorite candy bar. So she heard me and she kind of made me feel better. She spoke to me some words of encouragement, and I went off about my day. I do remember though that after she spoke to me, she had me write a list of things that I would have loved to have gotten for Christmas. And I was a very simple kid, like literally, like I think the things that I put on there was a teddy bear and some art supplies. So during winter break, she surprised me by coming to my house, knocking on the door, and bringing home Paddington the bear and construction paper, crayons, colored pencils, like art supplies, because I love art supplies. I'm an artist at heart. What amazed me most about her was that she went out of her way to kind of bring joy to one of her students. She didn't have to come to my house during winter break. She didn't have to buy me any gifts for Christmas, and she did that. And that has stayed with me all these years. And I try to pay it forward with my students as well. What's sad is that my 9th grade year, because middle school back then went up to 9th grade for me, my 9th grade year, we all knew that she was fighting cancer. And that particular year, she went into the hospital and she was really, really sick. And I remember sitting down in band class one afternoon, and over the announcements, they let everyone know that she had passed away. And it was devastating. It was so sad how such a beautiful, magnificent light, went away from us. But during her short time with us on this planet, she was able to spread so much joy. I aspire to be like her. And I am so thankful for Miss Woodruff, and I will forever remember her. So that is definitely one of my most favorite teachers. Who are some of your favorite teacher YouTubers, Instagrammers, and Snapchatters? Well, I'm not really on Snapchat, but I can definitely tell you my favorite teacher YouTubers. I'll start with the YouTubers first, and then I'll go to some the Instagram. And a lot of these teachers that have YouTube channels also have Instagram. So from the top of my head, Pocketful of Primary, Jennuine Teaching, Apples and Tiaras, Too Cool for Middle School, Smarty Style, Christina Costa at Teach Like a Girl, and Meg's Crayons. Now, I know there is more than that, And if I am missing you, I am so sorry. There's Brandy Torres from Bunny's Classroom. There's also my second grade life. There's a couple more off the top of my head that I can't remember. But if I do remember, I'll leave them down below. Kafuboland, of course. I just discovered her a couple of weeks ago, and it's so exciting to get a perspective of teachers in Australia. So Kafuboland. Also from Australia that I just discovered this morning is Teacher Tales. So those are a couple of the teachers that I follow on YouTube and also on Instagram. And now some of the teachers on Instagram, if they're not the ones that I've mentioned, the Superhero Teacher, Elementary Shenanigans. Oh my God. It's like to be put on the spot and remember all these wonderful teachers. I follow so many teachers. There's so many of you. Thank you for sharing all your wonderful ideas and doing what you do. And it's so hard to catch up to everyone's YouTube videos. I'm slowly trying to watch them as I go about my day. Those are a couple of the teachers that I follow, and I'll be sure to link them down below. What is one of your best classroom management tips? Make teaching a fun and engaging experience for both you and the student. Teaching is like you are on stage and you are doing a performance. Use humor in your instruction. Use novelty when you are teaching lessons. I went to many conferences by Melissa Forney years and years ago, and she taught us use novelty, make it fun, make it meaningful, use things that the students can manipulate. So if you are proofreading an essay, use finger lights and put them on your fingers and have the students track their essays maybe in the dark. Maybe do a safari where you turn off, the lights and you have the students pretend to be a waterfall or monkeys, and you are guiding them on this tour and asking them if they have details in their papers, if they have elaboration, if they have, evidence as they're using their finger lights and tracking their reading in the dark. And if they do, they can shake, their finger lights back and forth. So that is one of the things that I've learned, is to add novelty, add fun, and add excitement to what you teach your students, and they'll remember those experiences and in turn remember what it is that they were doing at the time and the skill that they were trying to practice or learn. I'm not sure if I answered that question the way it was intended to be answered, but if it's classroom management as it relates to behavior management, definitely Class Dojo and consistency. Those will be it. But if it were classroom management as it relates to student engagement, then definitely my previous answer on adding fun, novelty, and humor. Definitely. What is one reason you decided to become a teacher? All right, so that's a really nice question. So one reason that I decided to be a teacher was because I wanted to inspire, and I wanted to reach, and I wanted to make a difference. I think a lot of teachers, that's basically our generic answer. We never go in it for the money. We never go in it for the fame. We become famous to our students. That's what it is. And we can build these memories and these experiences with them, and hopefully be the reason that they decide to pick up a book, that they decide to go to college, that they decide to be a role model. I recently had the opportunity to have one of my previous students from 4th grade years and years and years ago, back I think in 2007. I think it was 2 years ago. He came by my classroom the last day of school when, we don't have students. We are just packing up our room and making sure that everything is ready for the summer. And he came by and I'm like, how did you know I was going to be here? A lot of teachers take it off because they make sure their classrooms are all done before that day. And it never happens to me. I'm always there the last day trying to finish everything. He came to, thank me for being his teacher, and that he had just graduated high school and was going to go to University of Florida, and that he wanted to be a role model for other students. And it was so awesome to have this student come back and say that to me. And I've been teaching long enough so that I've had a couple of students find me and write to me, whether it's an email or they find me on Facebook and they write me comments and messages letting me know what a great teacher I was to them and all the great things that they learned from me. And that's what it's all about. That's when you have to step back and forget about the politics or whatever's going in education. Forget about what your administrator is telling you that you're doing right or not doing right. And just focus on the main purpose of what we're doing this. We are impacting lives. And these children that come through our classroom, that they're building experiences with us. And some of those experiences they're going to take with them for the rest of their lives. And you never know what it is that you do that inspires a student to become the person that they eventually end up becoming. So that is one of the main reasons why I wanted to become a teacher. I wanted to be a change agent, and I'm still in it. I'm trying to complete my doctorate and doing research and trying to see how I can not only impact students, but also impact teachers, because I love to, help teachers and train teachers and provide professional development for teachers. So I'm in it to, inspire people and motivate people. And that's why I like to teach. And I think I found my passion. It's my passion and what I love to do. So yeah, there you have it. That is my iTeachToo teacher tag. I hope this video was not too long and that you were able to learn some interesting things about me and about teaching as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And I hope you have a beautiful, magical day. Don't forget to smile.